Welcome to the light. We got some really weird ass shit happening here. So I was outside, like pumping a little of that iron there. Gotta keep it fit. Gotta keep it thick, boy. If you forgot it, flaunt it. And I walked back in to see my notifications, and it took me for I was taken aback for 15 seconds. Just looking at this title, making sure I saw it right. So, one of Trump's lawyers, diGenova, we'll be hearing way more about this guy later. Because I'm assuming, hopefully, he's going to be in some trouble. He completely threatened and called for murder of the former cybersecurity chief that Trump fired when that guy did his job and he went through and looked at all the votes. Trump fired him because he didn't say that it was rampant election fraud, because he didn't find any rampant election fraud. And now this guy has just casually called for his murder on, I think, Newsmax or whatever the fuck. So this is getting crazier and fucking crazier by the day. All we can try to do is do what we can to make the world a better place, but we're up against a lot here. The only person I've seen cover this on YouTube so far is TYT's Cenk Uygur, so that's what we're going to be watching. We're not going to watch this whole video, but we're going to watch the important parts. And so yeah, here we go. Let's get right into this. Let's not waste any time on this insanity.
Stuff, guys. So this is one of Trump's lawyers. No joke. This guy is Joe diGenova. He was on Newsmax, unsurprisingly. So that's one of the crazy right-wing channels. He was on with Howard Carr, presumably crazy host, because he didn't really seem to challenge diGenova on this. And first, diGenova starts talking about Virginia and how there's statistical anomalies. Virginia was called instantly on election night. Now we're talking about Virginia. I mean, do you think that Trump won California and New York too? Okay, all right, that's no.
Probably. Unironically, probably. Yeah, I bet so.
Normal level crazy for Trump lawyers. Then he goes on to talk about former DHS cybersecurity chief Chris Kebs. So Krebs got fired by Trump on rage tweet. When he said, yeah, we checked everything. It was a fair and accurate election. And Trump was like, how dare you do your job? You're fired, right? Based on what? Yeah, you didn't help me with my clown coup. That's it. You're fired. So diGenova was mad at that. That's not surprising. But what he says is surprising. He says, that guy's a class A moron. Okay, that's so far not that interesting. Okay, but then he says he should be drawn and quartered, taken out at dawn and shot.
Beyond any political point that anyone would want to make about this, right? Because it's easy to just immediately jump down the rabbit hole of aren't these right-wingers insane or whatever? Which, a lot of them are. But beyond any political point, if you heard anybody say that and they weren't talking about Hitler, somebody who provably genocided 6 million people for racial reasons, and they weren't talking about someone like that, if you heard them say this person should be drawn and quartered and shot, what else would you call that but mental illness? He is not mentally well. This is a psychopath. And this psychopath is in close proximity to the President of the United States. That's horrifying.
Look, I know these guys are sometimes amusing as they have their brain juice leaking from their head, and it's not actual brain juice. If we were Republicans, we would be like, oh, no, it was brain juice. It was brain juice harvested from the kids that they're murdering in a pizza shop, right?
Right.
No, it was hair dye on Rudy Giuliani. And them pretending that they meant to do it at their press conference at Four Seasons Total Landscaping. All that's funny. It's hilarious. They're clowns, etc. But threatening to murder people and government officials, not funny.
No, not at all. Not even a little
just
bit.
Clownish. Despicable. Actionable. So do we have laws anymore? I mean, do they
I don't
apply
know.
to Republicans? Or
I have no idea, because honestly, like, this is something that like, if a kid said this on social media, they would be like immediately talked to the next day by like all kinds of police officers and social workers, and possibly visited by the FBI, like, hey, are you planning on murdering this person? Like, you kind of called for murdering this person. Like, but this guy, who's, you know, he's got the nice humble job of being the lawyer of the president of the United States, or at least on the legal team. I don't know for sure his entire thing yet. I'm sure we're going to find out everything in the coming weeks. But he works with the president, and he hasn't already been visited by the FBI wondering why he fucking called for the murder of somebody. Like, let's get into crazy hypotheticals, okay? Like, we don't even need to go here, but let's go here. Like, let's pretend like the guy deserves to be killed in your mind, right? This cyber security chief guy, right? Okay, we still don't have extrajudicial murder in this country as a legal thing you can do. No matter what, we don't have that. So there's really no excuse here. This is just insanity. Call it what the fuck it is. It's crazy. It's utterly crazy.
Or no, anyone that Trump touches is free to break the law in any way, shape, or form. You can't threaten to murder a government official. You can't threaten to murder anyone. It's illegal.
Yeah.
They're just doing it left and right. And I don't mean it like offhandedly. No, I mean, really, they're doing it left and right. So Rick Wiles is now the diGenova thing is way more
Rick
important,
Wiles,
and I'll get back to that in a second.
Crazy too. Oh my God.
But Rick Wiles is this evangelical preacher, I guess. They call him a conspiracy theorist because he believes in end times and every other kooky conspiracy theory. But I got news for you guys. That's almost all evangelical leaders that are right wing in this country. Some wonderful left wing evangelical leaders, but unfortunately they're never in the news. So, Wiles calls the Democrats and the media traitors. Standard stuff at this point, and it depends on how you mean it. Then he goes on to say, no, quote, I'm not. Oh, he went on to explain what he meant by traitors, that it was not political traitors or anything that was a metaphor or an analogy. No, he meant literal traitors that should be dealt with in that way. And they start talking about how he thinks that the Trump administration is trying to bring back the firing squad, which actually they are. Because 2020, because Trump, because insanity, because the entire Republican Party has lost its mind. Okay, so they're bringing back the firing squad for different reasons, because the injections aren't working with a guarantee, whereas a firing squad is theoretically more guaranteed. So they're actually literally trying to bring him back. I'll do some shout outs. Jeremy Ruffin, thank you for the super chat. Okay, but he says about the firing squad, he said, quote, I'm not trying to be funny, but because they plan to shoot some people. Okay, now you can say, hey, they plan to shoot some people. That's bad, right? So is that how Wiles meant it? No. He meant it in exactly how you think he meant it. Direct quote, they're going to have a bunch of traitors. They're going to line them up against the wall and start shooting them because that's what they deserve. Calling for murder.
That's not how America, or any civilized society for that matter, operates. We don't operate on just calling for murder of random fucking people. Okay, I mean, he's not necessarily a random person, but I mean, when you're talking about murder, I shouldn't have to get into all these hypothetical clarity justification things. This is craziness. It's not about left or right. It's about insanity and mental unhealthiness. I don't know what the fuck else to say about that.
And thinks it's perfectly normal. We murder our before they were trying to arrest their political opponents, lock him up, lock her up. Now they're just like murder them, right? So these are their direct quotes, and they're not at all sarcastic. And as the guy explained, I'm not trying to be funny, and they're not using it as an analogy. It's directly calling for murder. So he says the Democrats, the news media, if the leftists, if the scientists, professors have been working secretly with the Chinese Communist Party, then line them up against the wall and shoot them. Well, luckily we don't have to worry about it because no one's been secretly working with the Chinese Communist Party, let alone scientists and professors, you moron of morons.
Listen, man. First of all, the point that Chank just made there was a good point, that no one's working with them anyway. But am I crazy to say that, like, even if we found somebody who was working with a Chinese Communist Party, like, that what deserves to immediately be done is, like, no trial, no nothing, just line them up against a wall and fucking blow their brains out? Does that make me the crazy one to say maybe we should, like, abide by an American right, which is due process? What happened? What happened to all the constitutionalist conservatives? What happened to, like, law and order? That's not law and order, my friends. And even if you think that the election wasn't law and order because you think it's fraud or whatever, even if you were right, which you're not, don't get it twisted, you are not right. But even if you were, this still isn't the appropriate reaction. So in what fucking universe does this make any sense? In what universe? This is absolutely ridiculous. This is beyond ridiculous. This is craziness.
So seriously though, this guy now talking about murdering scientists and professors who are secretly working with the Chinese Communist Party to overthrow Trump, and that they should all be lined up against the wall and shot. And then Trump's lawyer, after that, goes on Newsmax and says, yeah, the former DHS cybersecurity chief, the one that made sure that these elections were safe and secure, let's murder him. Take him out at dawn and shoot him. So you could say one's an anomaly. Well, two's a pattern. I hope to God that they don't start doing this.
Oh my God. Talk about a different level. Like, we need to have a new word for triggered at this point, because these people have been triggered to the point of, like, foaming at the mouth, screaming for the murder of their political... I mean, this guy that we're talking about, this cybersecurity chief, isn't even a political enemy. He is a right-wing guy. So what is this? Just anything, anybody that isn't literally lodged up Trump's ass, they're willing to kill. This movement did not come out of nowhere, and it didn't come from Trump himself. So how long have we been walking amongst foaming at the mouth lunatics who just think it's okay to randomly kill people they don't like? Ask yourself that, America. How long? Because that's a fucking problem. My God.
Now, Wiles is considered crazy, but they're all nuts, guys. So why is Wiles considered crazy? Well, he made him, like, everything Wiles says is nuts. So Jesus is not going to suck you up into the sky. He's not going to burn the rest of us in eternal misery and torture and fire and all that stuff. We're not going to bring Jesus back by starting World War III in the Middle East. All of it is nuts, let alone the Chinese communist scientists, professors, nonsense, and shooting people. Bradley Northover, thank you for becoming a member. But he also thought that last time around that the impeachment of Trump. Let me put it that way: the impeachment of Trump was, quote, a Jew coup. No, you didn't hear that wrong. A Jew coup. That's not a word. It's not a new platform. It's not an app. A coup led by Jews.
How many of these people are literal Nazis? How many of these people are literal Axis fucking power 1936 Nazis? Huh? How many? Seems like a lot of them are. Seems like way too many of them are. Jew coup.
Dangerous, dangerous people, total lunatics. And
Yeah.
these are leaders in the movement. They're pushing people. Oh, the Jews are doing Soros, Jews, the globalists, the elitists. You know who they are. Now, look, there are actual elitists, but they're not Jewish. They're mixed. They're all. And what are they motivated by?
Money. Power.
Normal things like, oh, they want more money, right?
Yep.
It doesn't have to do anything with their race or ethnicity or etc. They just are. The powerful always protect their own power. What insane thing are we talking about here? Who says Jew coup? Who says let's go out and murder all the people we disagree with?
Jew
But
coup.
that's where we are in this country. So, okay. Last year, by the way, goes in the, I mean, it's scary but funny category. Because here's what Wiles had said. There are people in this country, veterans, cowboys, mountain men.
I remember this.
Guys that know how to fight, and they're going to make a decision that the people that did this to Donald Trump are not going to get away with it, and they're going to hunt them down.
Yep.
That's scary and dangerous because he's basically saying kill anyone who doesn't agree with Donald Trump. Here we are, America. Here we are. Meanwhile, Joe Biden's like, oh, bipartisanship. Let's get along, guys. Let's get along. Let's see if we can make a deal with these guys.
Yeah.
What would our deal entail? Where they kill only half of us?
Like, you can't really engage in the bipartisanship when the other side is like literally foaming at the mouth wanting you and everyone like you dead. Like, you can engage in bipartisanship when it's like, hey, the left and the right, we're going to come together to fucking get a deal to help this state that got hit by a hurricane bad. That's some bipartisanship. When there's bipartisanship and the other side is screaming for your death, what are you compromising on exactly? What's the 50-50 path there, Biden? What is it? What the fuck is it, Mr. I'm going to represent the people? Well, start fucking doing it, because these people want you and most Americans dead, because most Americans don't agree with this. Therefore, they want most Americans dead. There's no compromise on that. I think it's pretty fucking safe and easy to say that that's not a very bipartisanable issue.
That's not some rando evangelical Jew nonsense, insane evangelical leader. That's one of Trump's lawyers. That's one of his lawyers saying, yeah, let's go kill him. Let's go kill them. Are you crazy? This is where we're at. This is where we're at as a country. And yet, everybody's like, I don't know. Emperor's got clothes on. What strategy do you think he's using? Strategy? The guy just lost his mind, and we're talking about strategy? There is no strategy. They're nuts. And they've convinced nearly half this country to be nuts with them. What's going to happen over the next 4 years? As these mindless zombies wander around us, only 3% of Trump voters think that Biden won. Only 3%. What are we going to do with them? What are we going to do with them? They're absolutely sure that Trump won. Right now, as they see this, they're like, oh, so you're a little worried. No, wait a minute, dude. Yeah, I'm worried that people are going to get killed. Why aren't you worried about that? What's wrong with you? So you think, but you think that Trump won? No, I don't think Trump won. There's 0% chance he won. Like, so you're, man, wait till January 20th. Who he gets put back into office. And then, yeah. Like, no, dude, you're off the rocker, man.
Denial.
You guys, He's gone 0-38. He's gone 0-38 in court. They've never presented any evidence. You guys have all lost your minds. You're not allowed to say it. You're not allowed to say it.
When did it become popular and vogue to not to be counter, like, contrarian, not contrarian? When did it become counter in vogue and cool to just literally deny reality of any type that disagrees with a certain person you like? Because I could tell you when, but you're not going to like the answer. The answer is all throughout the times of human history when people followed cult leaders. I didn't think the Republican base was a cult. You could call me naive, you could call me whatever the fuck you want, but I thought they were Americans. Okay? I thought that they were citizens of the same fucking country I grew up in, and the country I fucking grew up in never once made me think it's time to get in a cult with some political figure I like. I really liked Bernie Sanders. I thought he was absolutely the best choice of all the people who ran in 2016 and in 2020. Okay? Never once would I have done anything like this. If there was a lawyer from the Sanders team that called for the murder of someone from Trump's people, which isn't even like this, but let's just say there was for the hypothetical, I would have, one, freaked the fuck out on that guy, and it would have, two, especially if Bernie was egging that guy on, either that or not saying anything about it, I wouldn't have been supporting Bernie anymore. So what is this cultish, everything I don't like is fake news fucking mentality? What is it? What the fuck is it? Because it's a severe problem. It's a severe problem. It is a problem as to why so many of these people are in the situations they are economically, why they're in these situations they are socially, why they're in the situations they are internationally, why they're so fucking fearful of everybody who has a slight different fucking skin variation from them. What do you do to combat that? What do you do? Their answer is shoot people we don't like. So I guess my answer is educate them. But they don't want to be educated. So my answer really doesn't mean fuck all. I don't know what to do with these people. I have no idea. They're completely unwilling to listen to anything resembling reason. And they're even more unwilling to talk to somebody from an opposing point of view, because like when they talk to somebody, really what they're doing is they're shoving their ears in their fucking, or shoving their fingers in their ears, and they're going la 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 while they type out like pro-Trump talking points. You can't engage with somebody that's like that. It doesn't fucking work. They're not actually engaging with you. They are putting up a shield and firing off weird little talking points at you while you're trying to talk with them and figure out where they're coming from. You can't reason with somebody like that because they left the reason game a long time ago. They don't want to be reasoned with. They just want to feel emotionally validated by someone like Trump. That's about all I can figure out that they want.
On the rest of the media. I said it. There it is. And so apparently I'm the only one reporting the news. If all those people believe insane things with no evidence, none, then they're crazy. I don't care how politically incorrect it is to say it. I don't care. Oh, well, yeah, but advertisers and access. But then Republican politicians won't come on your show, Cenk. Oh, please. I'm begging you, don't come on the show. I don't need lunatics on our show. All right, you guys get it. All right.
So yeah. First of all, before we end here, if you've liked this, I have a lot of political videos like this. I'm probably going to start making music and gaming streams and stuff like that soon too. So please drop a subscribe, a comment, a like, whatever you want. I'm all up for debating you either on my channel or in the comments if you have questions about this. So please do any of that. But as far as conclusions to this goes, so it's wrong when somebody calls for murder. That used to actually be like a meme. Like back in 2015 and 2016, like people would sell shirts that's like murder is wrong because it's such an obvious thing to say. Like, and they would be making fun of like when somebody says like racism is wrong, okay? And whatever you feel about those people, but that was a meme. And that meme primarily came from right-wing people. They would wear these murder is wrong shirts, haha. Take that, lefties. You think racism is wrong, duh, even though like apparently it's not duh to a lot of you. But regardless on that, where are the murder is wrong people? Where are they? Because right now they're agging on people calling for murder. That's where they are. They're not saying murder's wrong anymore because Trump's people stopped saying it. The irony is I see a lot of these people call themselves free thinkers. You cannot be a free thinker and literally flip on all of your past positions at a whim just because Trump or somebody connected to Trump has said something on the matter new. That's not a free thinker. A free thinker is, I support Trump for whatever reason. And then Trump says something that I vehemently don't like. I still support Trump, but I don't like that. So I'm going to call that out and challenge that because I think this is wrong. That's a free thinker. A free thinker is not somebody who blindly follows in the footsteps of every single crazy fucking thing him and his administration are doing. That's not a free thinker. That's a sheep. So get used to your new fucking talking points. They're called because that's about all you say anymore. You don't freely think for shit if you are following people who you at least hopefully used to think murder is wrong. Now you're going to like have some sort of justification for it because Biden bad, voter fraud maybe. This guy is like, you know, Chinese, Jew, Arab, fucking whatever, like racial bias you have. That's not a fucking reason, dude. Jesus Christ. Like I said before, subscribe if you like the channel. I'm out, bitches. This has been Light. The light is coming. Love you guys.